It's a My Little Pony mystery, a My Little Pony mystery, a My Little Pony mystery. It's a My Little Pony mystery, a My Little Pony mystery, a My Little Pony mystery. We're back, we're back, we're back. And so's he. Da 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 da. My Little Pony Mystery number 15. Who is the Black Pony of Darkness? Tape 2, Side A. The little ponies in the box could hear more voices now. They were obviously in the middle of a very crowded room. They had no idea where they were, and could only speculate about who their new owner may be. They spoke quietly to each other so that the humans outside the box would not hear them.
So where do you think we are?
One of the ponies said.
Who do you think our new owner will be? And do you think she'll be nice to us? What's your opinion? 'Cause I really have no idea.
I don't know who our new owner will be, my friend, but what I do know is she is someone who found me and wants me and loves me each night in my MLP dreams.
That's right, she's someone to play with, to talk to and stay with each night in my MLP dreams.
She's a young girl, so sunny and funny and bright, like our old owner kisses and hugs us good night.
I'm dreaming someday our someone will meet me and you, and our MLP dreams will come true.
She's someone with restraint who won't cover me in paint
each night in my MLP dreams.
She's someone who just loves me for the way I am and used to be
each night in my MLP dreams. She's a young girl, so sunny and funny and bright, like her old owner kisses and hugs us good night.
I'm dreaming today of someone will meet me and you, and all our MLP dreams will come true. As they finished this song, a sharp blade stuck through the top of the box, obviously part of a pair of scissors, which was busily cutting through the sellotape at the top of their package. They would soon find out who their new owners were. The inhabitants of Ponyland and the My Little Pony rescue home down on Earth had not been able to contact Sooty, Dodge's ancestor, the previous day, and so they were trying again tonight. And as if by magic, as Dodge held up the shimmering star and they shouted cucumber cake 3 times, the black-nosed guinea pig, who had once been the ruler of the Isle of Guinea Pigs, appeared in their heads.
Sorry to bother you again. We couldn't get through to you yesterday,
Dodge said.
But you see, we still have a few more questions for you, and, well, basically, we just wanted to speak to you. Does that make sense? Of course it does, Dodge. But basically, what is it that I'm supposed to tell you? What questions do you have to ask?
First of all, you told us enough about the mystery, a voice which everyone recognized as Sparkles said. But how are we supposed to solve it? Can't you give us anything to point us in the right direction?
And Like, what was it that you were saying about, two of our friends not really being our friends and, like, lying to us, And how can we defeat the Black Pony of Darkness? Can't you give us anything to point us in the right direction of doing that as well?
I think you will find, Splodge, that is very similar to the question which I just asked.
Sorry, Sparkle. Well, first of all, everyone, basically, if you want to think about this, the way to solve your mysteries and defeat the Black Pony of Darkness is right here, except I'm not allowed to tell you all of it. But what I will say is that you need to use something wet. Yes, something wet. Well, what could possibly be wet except water? Actually, I don't know, Dodge. That is a very good point.
The black-nosed guinea pig in Dodge's mind stared straight out of the picture which Dodge was seeing, as though he was looking directly at Dodge. Well, probably he was where he was standing.
I think what he's saying is that the way to defeat the Black Pony is with water. And as I do seem to remember, the Black Pony is scared of water, isn't he? You might really be onto something there, Dodge.
A voice which everyone recognized as Pinkie Pie said.
And now, who was it who lied to me? Or to all of us? Do you want it told to you in the easy way, or do you want the whole story told to you? Easy way, preferably,
Dodge said.
I'll say it in 3 words then. Kyle and Kieran. What? You're joking! They lied to me? But they're the ones who told me all about my family. Exactly, Dodge. What you didn't know was that they were not really Kyle and Kieran. They were strange creatures sent by the Black Ponies in place of Kyle and Kieran. Ask the real Kyle and Kieran now if you wish. They will tell you they remember nothing of all of your adventures. Well, they may well remember being locked up at the top of Rainbow Mountain, but they won't remember telling you about your family. I can tell you that now. So you mean to say the Black Pony has created clones of Kyle and Kieran? I am afraid so, Dodge.
Dodge was so angry that his eyes flew open and he immediately lost contact with Sooty, as did everyone else, who immediately opened their eyes and looked at Dodge.
I've always said it, but no one would believe me, would they? Never trust a white-nosed pig. Never trust a white-nosed pig. You ever trust what they say? Go turn your truths to lies and make nightmares from all your dreams. Never trust a pig out here and smart when told to by his brother Kyle. All that comes out of his mouth to scream all the lies. You'll see your brother's name in jail to make you feel you go mad. When he's brought to justice, you'll get a surprise.
Never trust a white-nosed pig.
You know evil like pigs, he doesn't know hides. He'll steal your cucumber cakes while you lay dead on your side. Don't like trust him, believe us. He has a evil side he never shows. Sure, your gingers are bad, hey, but lies are all that the white-nosed pig knows. But you're perfectly correct,
Dodge said, glaring around at all of the white-nosed guinea pigs who were in the group of ponies surrounding them.
It isn't correct, Dodge.
Kyle, Buttons' pet guinea pig, said,
I am a white-nosed guinea pig, but there's nothing wrong with me. I wouldn't lie to you. I didn't even know. I wonder where I was that day.
Well, just in case you were wondering, a voice said from the sky. You were hypnotized by the Black Ponies. But by the time you woke up, you were back in Ponyland, which is why you did not know. I'm only telling you this so that not so far away will be the day when all of our nightmares wash away, a voice said from the sky, and everybody knew that this was the mysterious CLM, who desperately wanted the ponies to defeat the black ponies and their helpers, though the MLPs who lived in Ponyland were quite certain that CLM himself had something to do with the black ponies. That was yet another mystery that must be solved. And surely Sooty could not be right when he said that all that they needed to solve their mysteries was lots and lots of water. The pony, who was at the top of the box, peered over the edge of the package as a crack of light came through.
Where are we then?
One of them said. I would not like to say. We are in a horrible-looking place. There are lots and lots of humans around us, and something even more horrible than that. Masses and masses of black ponies. The other MLPs in the box just looked up sadly at the pony who was looking over the side of the package. They knew what this meant. They had heard the legends about the black ponies and their helpers in Nightmare Castle in Ponyland. So these are our newest additions. I thought, since they were cheap, we could simply buy them and do as we wished with them. But for now, we have important matters to discuss, like how to take over Ponyland. So you know what that means, don't you, Darkness? Mary Cluckton said. Quite right, Mary. Throw them into a CB preparation pit. And the ponies felt themselves being whisked into the air one final time before Miss M. Crompton, who was actually Mary Cluckton, opened a trapdoor in the floor of the castle which they must now call their new home, and tipped them roughly from their box into an underground passageway where lots and lots of plastic ponies just like themselves trembled and shivered, all wondering the same thing: how long they had until they were C'd and R-H'd, as a lot of their friends had been already.
Water, water, water. What does he mean by water? What possible use can water be in defeating the black ponies and all of their helpers?
It was Sunday the 20th of August 2006, and Dodge was pacing impatiently by the side of his owner's family's swimming pool. I really don't know, Dodge, Desiree said. I've been trying to think all day, but I just can't imagine.
Well, I was just thinking about that time that Locket and I were locked up in the Black Pony's castle. Do you remember?
Lofty asked. Yes, I remember. We came to rescue you. What has that got to do with water, though?
Well, do you remember that silver bucket full of water? On the way out, somebody picked it up to throw at the Black Pony. And that was what stopped him from recapturing us and putting us back in the cage. He was scared of the water. At the time, we joked that he was scared of a silver bucket. But he said something about what was inside the bucket, which would have been just plain water. The Black Pony has a fear of water, though I'm not sure why yet. Darling, don't be so silly, Lofty. Why would anybody have a fear of water, darling? Rainbow Dash asked. Well, you know, to me, That just might not sound silly, Rainbow. He does have a fear of water. I remember, a couple of times ago, when Desiree was captured, although I didn't make it to the castle to save her, I stopped and started researching through really old diaries. But I do remember when Lancer and Dodge went to leave, Truly was standing outside with a bucket of water. And what I kind of remember is that when she held up the bucket of water and tried to splash the black pony with it, he ran back inside his castle. And so, that was how they managed to escape perfectly safely. And what I also remember is that they remembered 2 little droplets of water running down his tail, and something happened. Though I really can't remember what. What I remember that is when we splashed the black pony just slightly on his tail, some of his tail turned a strange rainbow color rather than the normal black that it always is. And as he walked away, he looked slightly friendlier than usual, Truly said. I don't know if we were just imagining things, but all of us saw the changed colors in his tail and also thought that he looked friendlier. So I would imagine that since all of us saw it, it was really there. Splash the black ponies! That's it! Desiree cried. Excuse me? What was that? North Star asked. Well, I may well be wrong, Desiree said, but I've got a feeling that I know. Now, what happened to all of those ponies who went missing 4 years ago? And I also think I know how to defeat the black ponies and their helpers. But there's no time to explain it now. We must start preparing. I'll tell you when we go inside the house what I think is the truth of these strange mysteries. But first of all, we must gather as much water as we possibly can and see if we can save those ponies. What white ponies are you talking about, you know, Desiree? 'Cause we, don't understand what you're talking about, you know? Please, before you, get us planning for something, let us, know what the plan is so we know if we, agree with that. Not.
There's no time right now, Twinkle. We must prepare as soon as possible and save those ponies.
But as Twinkle said,
Splodge argued,
surely you could just tell us what ponies we're trying to save. After all, we can't be saving the black ponies, and they were the ponies you were talking about. Not me.
Yes, I do know what you mean, Splodge. But, in a way, we will be saving the black ponies. Except that just like Kyle and Kieran, who weren't who they said they were, I don't think that the black ponies are who they say they are, either. And thinking about that strange shooting star message that we got so long ago, I think that some of the helpers may not be as mean as we think. In fact, I think that all of the black ponies, and at least some of the helpers, need rescuing in their own way. The following day, all of the MOPs prepared for what they hoped would be their last expedition to Nightmare Land, now that Desiree had told them what they needed to do to defeat the black ponies. Before they could leave, though, they had to fill lots and lots of buckets with water and think of a way in which they could transport them to Nightmare Land. They realized that they would have to use some kind of transport, since they couldn't carry huge silver buckets full of water with droplets of the stuff spraying over the sides every time they moved their feet. Otherwise, by the time they got to Nightmare Land, as well as being thoroughly tired out, they would probably have very little water still with them, after all the spillages that would be sure to take place on the journey. So that was the one big problem now. number 20 and helper number 31 were up in the top of one of the towers of Nightmare Castle. Helper number 20 was looking through one of the big telescopes up there towards Dream Valley. He could see what the ponies were doing just outside Paradise Estate, gathering together all the buckets of water, and he knew what their intention was. Now he was faced with a dilemma. The black ponies and their helpers had asked him to keep watch in case the ponies were up to anything, as they had suspicions that they were. But a certain mysterious creature, known only to everybody as CLM, had asked him to remain silent about any ponies who appeared to be moving around suspiciously, as though they were trying to defeat the black ponies. If he reported them, then certainly the black ponies would win, because this time all of the MLPs were together, and so it would be easy for the black ponies and their helpers to take over Ponyland once and for all. Yet, if he let them go, he could be in big trouble. He looked sadly around the room and sighed. Helper number 31 wandered over and asked what was wrong. 20 wondered what he should do. 31 had always seemed very kind, and maybe CLM had spoken to her too. But he would be letting CLM down to tell her about the mysterious creature. But then he would also be letting the ponies down if he didn't. But if he did, it may turn out that 31 was indeed on the black ponies and helpers' side, as 20 now knew he was not. And then, well, really, there was no easy way. Whatever 20 said to 31 could cause trouble for somebody, and would almost certainly cause trouble for himself. But he decided he'd have to take the risk and tell her what was going on, otherwise the questions would just get more and more awkward. When he had finished, 31 turned and asked why he didn't want to tell the black ponies and the other helpers that the MLPs down in Dream Valley were getting ready to defeat them. 20 thought for a moment he'd made a big mistake by telling 31, as obviously she was on the black ponies' side. He had to explain to her, though, and hope that she wouldn't tell any of the other helpers and black ponies what she knew, although it would be her duty if one of the other helpers had reported themselves as a traitor. But when 20 had finished his confession, 31 simply laughed and said how pleased she was that finally she knew that another helper was on her side. Obviously, at least these two helpers were not on the black ponies and helpers' side at all, but in fact would have preferred to be on the MLP's side fighting against themselves. Except, of course, in that situation they would not have been fighting against themselves, but all of the other helpers. Well, you must know what I mean, however confusing it may seem. Then 31 turned to 20 and asked if that was the reason he had not told the black ponies about the BS until just before it had been closed down. At this, 20 turned to her and replied angrily that the whole BS had just been a big lie. The black ponies and their helpers had named their two fraud guinea pigs, Kyle and Kieran, after 20's friends, but in fact 20's friends had been frauds themselves, or at least they were non-existent people who had been written about by a fraud, who was pretending to be helper number 20. And so 20 was quite angry that the black ponies and their helpers had reprimanded him by telling him to buy 200 CBPs, which he didn't agree with anyway. CB was something which 20 and 31 agreed they did not want to speak about, since they did not like the idea of peas being called CB at all, especially when the CB was not even in PC. And also, in his rush to gather 200 CBPs, for the black ponies and their helpers. He had not been able to choose PCPs wisely and had just had to buy a huge lot of them on EB. Sadly, this meant that he had to buy many HTF and VGCPs, which he had not wanted to do at all. Luckily, though, the black ponies and their helpers had not had much time for seeing and RHing, so he knew that those NMPs were still underground, in the horrible base pit where the CB was kept. Blossom, the largest of the ponies, who had been in the parcel which Mary Clutton had received, shuddered in the corner as she saw a rat run right past a row of ponies who stood just in front of her. The pit was cold and damp, not at all like her old home, and she didn't know what the black ponies and their helpers had in store for her, or the rest of her pony friends, and her newest friends, the MLPs who had already been in the pit. There were 500 or 600 of them in total, and many of them were in very good condition, better condition than herself, and she was in quite good condition for a plush pony. However, the black ponies and their helpers, they could hear above them, kept referring to them as the CB down in the pit, which they knew was a horrible term for referring to normally bad condition ponies. Blossom sighed as she watched the rats scurrying away. She didn't want to be here any more than she had wanted to be shoved in an old box in the attic of her old home. In fact, she wanted to be here a great deal less. Somebody has got to come and save us soon, she said. The other MLPs in the pit all spun round and looked at her.
I'm afraid, sweetie, there's simply no way out of here. Believe me, I tried.
A first edition Rainbow Dash said, looking sadly up at the big pink pony in the corner.
The only way out of here is out of that trapdoor above our heads, sweetie. If you can reach up there, then I'll be very grateful. But I don't see a way that us little ponies can get up there.
Blossom galloped over and looked up at the trapdoor, but it was far too high for her to reach. Rainbow Dash tried climbing up on the little pony's head, but even then they were not tall enough. There was simply no way out. Every night I dream a dream where there's a girl who comes and rescues us. A girl who doesn't agree with all this CB and peeing and RHing. If only she existed, and if only those dreams would come true.
Tell us more about the dreams, Blossom.
A tailless but otherwise good condition Sunbeam said. Well, I always have the same dream, each and every night. And in each and every one of those dreams, there's someone, she wants us, she saves us and loves us. Each night I have sweet pony dreams. She's someone to play with, to talk to and stay with. Each night I have sweet pony dreams. She lives in the house with ponies all around. With no customizing, we'd be safe and sound. I'm dreaming someday that someone will come to our rescue, and all my sweet pony dreams will come true. A loving smile on one kind face, she'd get us out of this sad place. Each night I have sweet pony dreams. If that dream girl exists, trusted and she knew that plight she'd come to our rescue. Each night I have sweet pony dreams. She lives in a house with ponies all around. With no customizing, we'd be safe and sound. I'm dreaming someday that someone will come to our rescue, and all my sweet pony dreams will come true. I know that really there are no humans who are kind enough to just rescue ponies and not customize. But I always have this dream that there's a young girl who will come along and save us all. And she takes us to this beautiful place, which is completely full of ponies. Thousands of new friends. Every single one of them safe from the horrible seeing and our-eating habit of other humans. If only such a place existed. Well, I heard a legend a long, long time ago. A source of paradise who had a slight rub to the flocking on her hooves, but otherwise was in good condition, said that there is such a place as that. It's called the My Little Pony Rescue Home, and it's run by a girl whose name I can't quite remember. But what I do know is that, sure enough, in the legend, she saved thousands of ponies and never customized a single one. And, if I remember rightly, I think the girl occasionally comes to Ponyland and tries to defeat the black ponies and their helpers. I may be wrong about that, but if that's the case, maybe she'll defeat the black ponies and their helpers sooner rather than later, and she'll be able to save us. Though she wasn't in time to save my friend Northstar, who was taken away just a couple of days ago, and I saw the evil glint in Mary and Hope Number One's eye. I know where my friend went, and I would never wish that horrible fate upon any of you. The ponies all looked down at their feet and thought about poor Northstar, who had been there just a couple of days before and had been in as good condition as paradise. I don't know why they want to do it, but are you quite certain about the legend of the rescue home? Blossom asked. Or was it all some kind of joke, just to make me feel a bit more hopeful, because I'd rather know the truth? Oh no, I remember the legend of the rescue home all right. It exists somewhere, and I'm dreaming, just like you, that one day, that girl who owns the rescue home will come and save us. Of course, we can't be sure, but I think that maybe, just maybe, she's in Ponyland now. I have a feeling about it. And my friend Ribbon over there also had a feeling about it, didn't you? I sure did. And I think that, yes, Desiree, who is actually the girl who runs the rescue home, by the way, does come to Ponyland occasionally, and I've just got a very strong feeling that she's here at the moment, and she's almost, just almost, in a situation where she and the My Little Ponies who live in Ponyland and Ponyville are going to defeat the black ponies and their helpers once and for all. And that means that they will come and save us, too. So all we can do is hope that Desiree, if that is her name, and the My Little Ponies who live in Ponyland and Ponyville will be able to defeat the black ponies and their helpers. And someday, one day, very soon, Blossom added, my sweet pony dreams will come true. Thursday before the ponies were finally completely ready to go on their mission to Nightmare Land. And they decided that since it was actually Thursday night, they would not go until the following day, Friday the 25th of August 2006. They had realised that they could carry their buckets of water in the little carts which the baby ponies played with at the Lullaby Nursery. Unfortunately though, there were not enough of these carts. But luckily, Triple Treat from Ponyville knew a spell which meant that when she waved her hoof in the air and whispered the magic words, each of the carts multiplied by 3, and then she read out the same spell over those carts which she had created until there was 1 cart for every single pony to pull. They hadn't had enough buckets either, and strangely, Triple Treat had found that her magic would not work on these. So it was lucky when a little pony who had travelled all the way from Unicornia, known as Rarity, had walked round to the back of Paradise Estate and found a pile of very strange paint cans, each one with a sticker on it saying, "Highly toxic black paint. Please do not get in mouth." No one knew where these cans had come from. The only time they had ever seen the stickers before was when one had accidentally got left on their breakfast tray when they had been locked in Nightmare Castle's dungeon. So it seemed that these may have come from the black ponies and their helpers. Maybe the nasty inhabitants of Nightmare Land were nearer than they thought. But anyway, Triple Treat had managed to multiply these cans of paint, which were now empty by the way, and they had filled the cans with water and loaded them into the carts. The cans were also better because they had lids, and so they would lose less water on the way if they went over a bump in the road. Desiree still hadn't told the ponies what her plan was, and what she thought they were going to do with all the water, but the MLPs knew that she had a plan, and so they were not too bothered about this. They only hoped that the plan would work. Desiree, however, was now not so sure of her idea. Maybe she had got the wrong idea about the black ponies and their helpers. Maybe they could not be defeated simply with water. Even if what she believed the black ponies to really be was what they really were, then maybe what had been done to them would be too bad to be undone with simple, plain water. The ponies had moved swiftly across Ponyland and had reached the dark forest which surrounded Nightmare Land. By 9:15 that night, they decided that they would stop in these woods with all of their cans of water and continue their journey tomorrow. That way they would be less tired when they reached their final destination, which they hoped would be the final time that they would ever have to visit Nightmare Land. Desiree gazed back at some more ponies who she could hear coming up behind her. These MLPs had been slower since instead of paint cans full of water in their carts, they pulled along all of the little plastic ponies from the rescue home, and also a lot of Ponyland pets. Desiree looked down at Sparkle, Splodge, Twinkle and Dodge, who were in the cart which she was pulling, along with lots of the plastic little ponies, who of course were no longer plastic. "Are you really sure that you want to come along?" Desiree said specifically to Splodge. "After all, I thought you didn't like danger, and I think that this could turn out to be one of our most dangerous adventures yet, if not the most dangerous."
Yeah, I don't normally like danger,
Splodge said.
Well, I never like danger, actually. But you see, the point is, well, this as well as being the most dangerous. Well, you see, if I come along on the most dangerous adventure yet, then I'll seem ever so brave, which of course I am. I'm a brave, black-nosed guinea pig. And so am I. And that's on top of us being royalty.
Dodge looked at Twinkle and Sparkle, who stuck their tongues out at the two little black-nosed brothers.
Also, as far as I can make out, if you and the ponies at the rescue home are right, then this could be our last journey to Nightmare Land. And I'd hate it if something exciting happened and I hadn't been present.
Well, that is very brave of you, Desiree said, and she smiled at the brave little guinea pig.
Well, actually, I am brave. After all, I had to have 2 teeth removed, and now I have to have them trimmed every couple of weeks. Would you like to see, Dodge? Maybe some other time,
Dodge said nervously, turning round and hastily walking through the crowds of ponies in the cart to the other end of it. Twinkle, Sparkle and Splodge all laughed together. The ponies all agreed that they would stop here tonight and try to get a good night's sleep, so that tomorrow they would be fully awake and ready for whatever dangers lay in Nightmare Land. So that maybe, just maybe, if Desiree and the ponies at the rescue home were right in what they believed to be true about the black ponies and their helpers, just maybe they would be able to defeat the black ponies and their helpers once and for all. As it happened, the ponies did not move forward the following day, but on Sunday, the 27th of August 2006, they made their way towards Nightmare Land at 10:45 a.m., pulling carts full of little, once plastic ponies, guinea pigs, rabbits, and all kinds of other creatures, plus cans and cans of paint behind them. Can somebody update me on what the plan is? Desiree had now told the ponies exactly what she and the plastic MLPs from the rescue home believed to be the true story about the black ponies and their helpers, and they had discussed what they should do about it the previous night.
Well, what we're really hoping to do,
Pinkie Pie said,
is break into the castle, use the water like you told us to do, and look for any C's or CB, which we can also save.
Exactly. That's precisely what we're planning to do, Dodge said, from the cart which Desiree was pulling. If you're right, then we've got to go and find where the helpers actually stay. Then we should find the evidence. Plus, any of these black steeds you talk about. Like when we found all of those peas before in that garden. Maybe there were more underground in the castle. Like there were under the grass in the garden. I hadn't thought about it like that. Perhaps there are thousands of ponies in there, Desiree said. We are trying to speak in the Black Pony style, just using abbreviations and initials, Desiree, so that if anybody is spying on us, they will know what we're talking about. Try not to use the vital words. Oh, sorry, Desiree said. Well, I didn't think that there would be many P's in there then. But now I see you're right. Maybe they are all UG. But if that's the case, then we will soon save them all. And we will soon S the BPs with W. To hear what happened next, please turn over to Side B of number 15 in the My Little Pony Mystery Series. Who is the Black Pony of Darkness? Tape 2.